Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing okay and staying safe. Today I have a new build for you. Well, not technically the newest build, but as you can see in the screen, this is the Herald Stacking Guardian that I've been wanting to try out after the nerfs that happened through GGG. I generally don't like to play broken builds because I feel like the game gets too easy and I like the challenge for in passive exile basically. But to showcase, I actually saved the last phase for Shaper. Hopefully he gained full health by now. And I wanted to show something to you guys. And keep in mind, I'm not using any flask, right? He's frozen. So if anything can be frozen without any flask or anything, you are gonna freeze it. That's something that I'm gonna talk about. How much else do you have? Oh, he gains health very fast.
To save the future, the past must be sacrificed.
Yeah. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna stand. Nice. And oh, we blocked it. I wanted to showcase that we can actually take a hit from that as well. And while we are doing this, let's drop this one and let's go to our single target damage just to showcase to you guys the chunkiest damage we can do. Here you go. I'll force of habit, guys. We didn't have to do that outside, but we can. Where you go, man? Okay, and done. So I just wanted to showcase both the damage in single target when I use slower projectile or chain for clearing. Let's finish this off. Really? Just that? Nothing? Not very rewarding Shaper and Elder these days. Elder, well, with the Watcher's Eye, maybe. Okay, so let's get off the game and let's go over the passive building. The link is gonna be in the description below. So how we are building this is we have two Voices cluster Drew. I went with the cheapest one. I wanted to make this build as budget friendly as possible. Doesn't mean that it's a budget build by any means. I'll go over the general prices, but this is the most budget version, which means the voices are like 7 and I'm still using a large cluster jewel. I'm level 97 right now. I gained a couple of levels without really trying. So the build is, as you saw, very tanky. What you can take is, like, you can take the beam, you can take the hit. You cannot take the more than two Shaper balls. If it crits, you can't even take 2 of them. So depends, but like definitely you cannot take all 3, but you can take one very safely. So try to move away as you take the first hit. But from the tankiness side, can it die? Oh yeah, I've died in Simulacrum when I wasn't paying attention, to be fair. But if you play around it, it's very tanky, but Simulacrum content and not really Uber. Like, if Uber wouldn't do that much to you, especially if you're playing around the mechanics as anybody would. But other than that, the only thing that can actually kill it is the Simulacrum mods. That's kind of hard. Even in the T16 maps, you can still get not one-shotted, but a couple of shotted by like a boss, or basically a couple of rares are around you. But as I was saying, yeah, we have like 8 purposeful harbingers. I'm using 4 heraldries right now, if I'm not mistaken. I was using 5, but I trying to use 4 heraldries, and the rest of it would be the endbringers. POE doesn't work that great for this specific build, so when you get the POE, I added everything here. For the jewels, we have the 400% increase effect of auras on you, and the 525 increased global damage for the Heraldry and Endbringer. I didn't put Radiant Phase and Unwavering Phase. Unwavering Phase is an aura still, but Radiant Phase isn't anymore after the patch, and that means that this is going to give you way too much energy shield and you're not going to have nowhere near. So instead I actually added what it was supposed to be. Increase maximum energy shield at 5%. This is technically 10% of reserved, but I put 9% of maximum mana just because I wanted to make that translation. And you're supposed to be reserving about 90%, right? Currently I'm reserving 92%, right? And we still have another 5% increase effect of auras on you. These two are not technically complete, so what you see here, 7500, it's more like 7750. So another 200, just add 150 to 200 on top of this, and that will be your general energy shield. For the physical damage reduction, if you take these, it will show you something that's way too ridiculous, because it's still granting the 160% of your reserved life five times, which is not real. So your physical damage reduction is about 50 to 60% because of this, and all the what this gives as flat, which means that 1% physical damage reduction, you have a bunch of auras, and then 4 times that. So flat, you have around 4 or 5. And this is very interesting. If you click that, that's still 5 times the spell block. You get only 10% block chance, spell block chance. So I didn't take this one either, just to give you a good idea. And as you know, the resistance is capped at 90%, so you're not completely resistant to lightning damage. But yeah, this is the general build. It's very similar and simple. Like, you can just go to any person playing this build and take a look at the basically POB in POE Ninja, and you can probably like rebuild what they're doing. What I did is, you can play this with a bunch of different spells. I played with Arc, I played with Blade Vortex, and what I landed on at the end was Ethereal Knives. I never played EK actually. This is my first time playing EK. I played I played EK once, but I didn't really go all out and didn't get to the end game or anything. It didn't feel right for leveling as much, and I probably shouldn't have leveled with EK. But I generally try to level with the same spell that I'm going to be using as soon as I can. But yeah, EK currently with the Jewel here, I enjoy it. As I showed you guys, I enjoy the EK playstyle. It's pretty good. BV is probably more chill, but Blade Vortex I played 2 leagues ago, and I try to not play the same build over and over again. BV and Cyclone are like some of the best skills that we currently have and fit a lot of different play styles and builds, but yeah, I wanted to try something new, so I went with EK. EK is not actually that great for single target damage. My Arc was a lot better for single target, but you still had to do some basically general direction hitting, and you had to move your mouse a lot when you were in the middle of the map to just hit something so it chains off. But EK playstyle is a lot more chill, but not BV chill. So I went with EK anyway. I'm rambling a little bit. But yeah, let's go over the items. Nebula's, both of the increased damages are really helpful to us. So how this works, we have EK as a physical spell, right? We convert all the physical damage to lightning damage, and then from lightning damage we convert it to cold damage. So that way, all the increased physical damages we benefit from, all the increased lightning damages we benefit from, and all the increased cold damages we benefit from. So this is double damage for us, because both cold damage and lightning damage are increasing our damage, and cast speed is never bad. This is something that I actually found myself, but it should be about 1x. I'm going to go over prices as well. The Prism Guardian, we need something to reserve our life very efficiently, and this is the best in slot. This can go very expensive very fast, but the general one is probably less than an X. Yeah, the alphas how we wanna have as much reduced mana reserve as we can, so we can fit in as many auras as we can basically. I got this one for 8x with the reduced mana reservation for Period of Lightning. The most expensive ones are the for any of the 50% auras like Haste, Hatred, Wrath, all those things, and 15% reduced mana reservation. Those are more expensive. So those are probably about 15x. I got this one for 9x, something like that. Chevrons, we are going low life, no brainer. The Maligaros, the thing is, we are already very starved. As you see, all uniques. I'm currently using all uniques, right? So we don't have any spot to put in any critical strike multiplier. And in the we are still very point starved. So this is like the best thing you can do. There are people who are doing, you can actually do like percent ES double crit multi jewels and then out damage this one, but for that specific version of it, each one of those jewels will cost you about 20x. So I didn't go that way. I didn't have like a 10 or 20 mirrors lying around just for this specific build. But yeah, currently I don't know, but I bought these ones for 13x or something. It shouldn't be that much. They should drop a little bit, to be honest with you. Doriani's Delusion, they're getting higher and higher about this one for 23x, I believe. And the only reason that we want this one is just any of the purities would work. Period of Lightning is better because we want to have our lightning damage the highest, so we can actually use the Viso. That's why about with the one with the lightning. But the ES is nice, and we get the Purity of Lightning from the boots itself. That way we can have a 5-link blood magic to reserve more of our auras with basically our life. That's the only reason, and that's why they're so expensive. Presence of Chayula, some ES cannot be stunned, 60 chaos resistance, which is really nice. Call of the Brotherhood, this is how we are converting our lightning damage to cold damage. We are using both ring slots as Call of the Brotherhoods. Each one of them should go about 1x. Oh, the amulet is cheap, less than an x. Roomies, a Quicksilver, Diamond, Viso, Ganet's Promise for now, just because of the chaos resistance, really. Like, we don't need the damage or anything, but the chaos resistance really help to get us like 35% chaos resistance for us, because we're at 0%, is 35% chaos damage reduction technically. So that's really nice for us. From the jewel sides, get every one of your jewels need to have Purposeful Harbinger, right? Get as many heraldries as you want or as you need, basically, to fit everything that you need to, and then the rest of them should be Endbringers. I'm eventually gonna change this to Voices. I don't have the points for it, like I'm enjoying a bit more ES and a bit more mana, but eventually this needs to go to Voices. And I'll show you another case soon, which is gonna be taking this build to its extreme. But this is the current version that I'm playing. But yeah, you need to have as many heraldries as you need, then rest of it Endbringer and Purposeful Harbinger. And as I said, I put everything in here. The jewels are the first 2 lines, and then the Radiant Face is the last 2 lines. So technically you're taking this, and Harmony of Purpose, but I didn't take this in the POV just to showcase how it should look like, technically, from the standpoint of physical damage reduction and energy shield. And I try to take the lower end of the bargain always, just so I know what I'm getting into. From configuration, you're gonna have Power Frenzy and Endurance charges most of the times. In the bosses, you're gonna start with 0, but because of the Harmony of Purpose, you're eventually, like after a couple of seconds of casting, you're gonna get all of them, and you're gonna keep them up. That's why I take them here. Against Shaper Guardian, currently we're doing about 5 million damage. Our biggest thing which I actually have here, I didn't want to take it because we normally wouldn't use it. Like, I believe that I use it in the fight that we just had, but if you go in purity, you go to 10 million because it ignores the damage or ignores the resistance of the enemy, which is nice for us. It doubles our damage, but this is not going to be up all the time, and I generally try not to, or I generally forget to actually do anything. I tried really hard to put in portal here, but if you don't have the links and you cannot fit things through and you cannot have like the boots or anything, or you want another aura to be added, there are many good auras that you can add to this build. Like, just to name a couple, Determination is going to be nice, Flesh and Stone is going to be nice, Grace for the evasion and evade chance is going to be real nice. So all of those things you can still try to fit it in. I'm going to talk about a couple of ways that you can do that, but currently I'm running with this setup, so you can take a look at the POB. There's nothing that interesting about it. The only thing is, Ethereal Knife, this is our clear setup. I don't generally change it, but if you go for slower projectiles and for single targets, if you're willing to change the link from chain to a slower projectile, you're doing 7 million. And then with the impurity of ice, you're doing about 14 million, which is more than enough. So these are all the pros of the build. You know the general drill for improving the build. Get a bunch of more levels on any of the gems that you can, like a 21, Ethereal Knives, Hatred, Wrath, anything really. From the tree side, as I said, change this to a voices. If you can afford it, you can do 5 passives or even 3 passives and get a bunch of more points here and put them here to get like a voices with like 1 more Purposeful Harbinger, 1 more Endbringer. By the way, if you want to change anything, keep in mind you have to update this one to get like a good representation of the build for yourself. Yeah, as I was saying, get the voices here. From the items perspective, all of these are pretty much mandatory. You can go with the rare helm with the 5% reduced mana reserve and a bunch more ES, but that's gonna be just hard to fit in everything. So that 3% difference between the 5% and 8% makes a lot of difference. Makes a difference between needing 1 more heraldries. So keep that in mind. From the amulet perspective, you can do another amulet like this one. No, okay, I didn't put it here, but there are amulets with 5 to 6% reduced mana reserved with the quality, 5% with quality 6%, that you can have with ES percent ES. You're still gonna be losing a bunch of ES because now you don't have as much base ES to go around, but that's gonna give you another 5% reduced mana reserved. And if you can get that with a couple more jewels that we are gonna go over with reduced mana reserve, you probably can fit in another aura, whether that would be Grace or Determination, or I was actually thinking about going that way, and without any changes I can probably fit the aspect of the spider without any changes to my build, which is going to be nice. I just have to change like from what I'm blood magicking from one of the purities to I can then do actually from one of the heralds, herald of purity. When you look at this, to one of the purities, probably purity of fire, and that will reserve just as much life for me, and then I can change something around and put that on my mana, which is going to be nice. And then I have to lose the portal, which I'm really enjoying. But yeah, so from the jewels perspective, you still have a bunch of more jewels. I talked about how we are doing the lightning to cold. How we are doing physical to lightning is with the Watcher's Eye, the 38% physical damage converted to lightning damage, and then Fist to Lightning as one of our gems in the EK. So that's the translation from Fist to Lightning, and then Call of the Brotherhood Lightning to Cold. We have a bunch of jewels. We have a bunch of jewel sockets, so I wanted to add as much percentage as I can. I have just Energy Shield, Penetrate Cold, Energy Shield. You'll need some strengths, And if you can get some strength like I have on some of these jewels, that would be really nice. Like this one, I have just a strength energy shield, split personality is really good for a spot. This is 5. I just added it to showcase how much I have for this specific spot. So it's giving me 50 strengths and 50 ES. If you put it here, another one, you'll solve all of your strengths problem and you're going to get 47. So depending on the pass you take, that 25% adds up, right? I have 1 jewel with 1% reduced mana reserve, 6 ES. I was making these myself, all of the jewels, or most of the jewels. This one I bought actually. I just enjoyed not having to have a corrupted blood or remove bleeding on one of my flasks. So I got one of the corrupted bloods with 7% increase ES. This was expensive, like a couple of X's, 5, 6, something like that. I put energy from within here just to transfer all this life to ES to make it more worthwhile. And I have a Conqueror's Efficiency just for another 2% reduced mana reserve. Keep in mind, if you get 2% mana reserved on 2 of these jewels, you don't need this, of course. Or even right now, if you drop a Clarity level, you probably wouldn't need this. Or you can get another corrupted one with another implicit of 1% reduced mana reserved. And those are like very expensive, I believe, 16x something. But that will, as I said, you can invest a lot of money into this build to make it perfect. My current version, without really investing into the build, I believe adds up to be more than a Headhunter or even a Mare. Oh, from the build perspective, just bated breath. I've had a Headhunter on my other character, so I just put it here to enjoy it. And the footage that you saw was with this because I'm enjoying the strength and dexterity. And before that, I had to, as you saw, put up with a lot of strength requirement. But I wanted to add all of these things just so you know that you don't have to have this. You can put bated breath and just be as happy. I was actually wanted to show you, we gain ES. We don't lose anything. We lose a bit of a strength and dexterity, but we have enough for everything, and we just gain a bunch of ES, which is really nice. And if you have, of course, your flask up, you're gonna have more damage. But because of all these things, because all these things are not reliable within boss fights, I don't usually take them if I'm not sure that I'm gonna keep them 100%. And I don't have the Watcher's Might that I get flash charges back on crit, and I'm not critting that much. As you can see, my crit chance is 48%, so it's not as reliable as the other character when I take these. So I talked over everything, the build. Let's talk over how it feels and is it broken, because that's the only reason that I actually started this build. I put a bunch of currency in. This is a very, very expensive build, and I want to see basically what the fuss is about, right? Is it good? It is. I'm not gonna deny that. It's a pretty good build. It's tankier than both of my other characters that I had technically, because this is the new version of the brand character. I destroyed the brand character and arranged it for this build. But the brand character actually felt better for bossing, because with the brands you don't have to stand still, you don't have to do anything, you don't have to cast. You put the brands, every now and then insta cast a refresh and just run around, dodge anything that you want. So for bossing, I feel like the other one was better. And the thing is, if you put this much currency into that build, the ceiling is infinite. Skill as much mana, skill as much, what was the jewels? The jewels that increase the mana cost. Skill as much one of those, and you're golden. You can reach, I don't know how much damage, but probably more than this one, like 20, 30 million. I've seen people actually doing that type of damage when with both of the, both of the brands on the enemy insta phases, no matter what it is, like a Guardian or even, the Cyrus or Ceres, technically. So from the damage perspective, with that much investment, probably that one is better. From mapping perspective, the Assassin was a lot better. But then again, I do tend to play characters that I know are feel good and very good at one thing specifically, right? But this character is a very good all-rounder. It has very good defenses. Our effective health is more than both of them, because all for resistance they're 90%. We are 0 at chaos at least, which is really nice. We have some block every 2 seconds. We get like full block, like attack block capped, which is really nice. And we are tankier. Yeah, we are tankier. We can more easily play the game. And as you saw, I gained a bunch of levels, like 3 levels on this character by running simulacrums. You can run simulacrum deathless. I've done a bunch of these yesterday, and that's how I leveled up this character, and the day before. I died once or twice, I believe, but that was more than anything really my fault. I wasn't paying attention. But I feel like with the amount of investment that you have to put into this character, is this character broken right now? Not before everything. Not with the Solstice Vigil, like 1 minute Headhunter buffs. Is it broken right now? A little bit. But not too much. If that makes sense. Like, I feel like if you're making this much investment into a build, it needs to feel good. Because you have a goal, right? You've been playing the game, you've been doing a lot of right things, you've been gathering a lot of currency, and you sink it into a build. That build better feel good, and I generally don't like the builds that feel good only in doing one thing. I like a build to be able to do anything that I throw at it. I want to be able to boss, I want to be able to map, not change anything. I want to enjoy it. This is my off time. I want to enjoy what I do, and this character provides that, and it doesn't provide too much overpowered. This is gonna get nerfed. We all know it. That's why I wanted to play it before it get nerfed, just to get a feeling of it. But even if they leave it as is, maybe like decrease the power by, not the auras actually, decrease the damage a little bit. That would be, I feel like, where the build really shines, and it should stay there, because this is a good build to play. And I do suggest you guys, if you have the currency lying around, just transfer a character into this build, play it for a little bit, and just move back to what you were playing. Just because I've actually missed a couple of builds like this. I was like, okay, this is too broken for me right now. I'll play it when it's actually fixed, and then they nerfed it to the ground and wasn't feeling anything like the original. I wanted to showcase one thing. This guy perfected this build. And why I'm saying that is I'll go over his gear. Don't compare anything that you can get with this gear. This gear is worth upward of like 10 mirrors, because everything he perfected the build, and that's why I wanted to look at it. He has a bunch of one small passive voices, so he can actually afford to take 4 of them. So he has 4 voices. He can afford a bunch of Grand Spectrum with 1% reduced mana reserved. Discipline on Prism Guardian, +1 to Chevrons, Zealotry, Call Up the Brotherhood. This is 50x, this is 25x, I believe. This is the same price with like a better enchantment. I hate running labs. I don't run labs as much, so I didn't do it to take like any enchantment basically. Spells have crit and frenzy charge. Maligoros. How many did he break to get this one? I don't know, but I don't even want to know how much that cost him. Basically, anyway, all of his jewels: Corrupted Blood, 1% reduced mana, 1% reduced mana, 1% reduced mana. This is the type of amulet that I was talking about. He's doing actually with, I don't know what influence that is, but he's getting vitality from the amulet and stuff. What I was talking about, and that's a 50% R reserve, so you need to have a lot of reduced mana reserve to be able to fit that one in. He's getting a bunch of damage, energy shield, lightning damage, physical damage, and projectile, because he's doing EK as well. And he's using controlled destruction. I do like to crit. I like to freeze on the enemies more than I like to do controlled destruction, elemental focus. This definitely gives more damage, of course. But yeah, this is like a more expensive version. This is the this is if I was looking at the POV and I was like, what would I change? What would I say that can be better? It's like, well, maybe nothing. Like he's done a pretty good job at doing what he's supposed to be doing. But don't even get close to like this type of build, because this is gonna cost you a fortune, and I don't have that type of money or that type of time to farm that type of money in this game. But yeah, anyway, this was my rant about the Herald Stacking build. I wanted to try it out for myself. I do suggest you guys, if you have some money lying around, definitely try it out, see what's the fuss about, and enjoy yourself. Thank you guys for listening to me and me ranting about the build, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a great week.